All right, guys. Sorry for the. I'm holding the camera here. This is the shores of Lake Kawaguchiko, and I'm going to talk to you guys about my plans for using the mass immersion approach to learn Korean. And this actually marks the exact 1 month mark of kind of getting started. So we're at September 1st. So I will be doing update videos hopefully every 3 months, and maybe I'll and maybe even more than that, just depending on what I find. So let's talk about why I want to learn Korean. I just basically I've moved to Korea exactly a month and a half ago, and I think it's for the mostly for the challenge. I don't know how I'm gonna use it. I do like Korean dramas quite a bit. I'm looking for reading material and movies as well, which I haven't found yet. Um, so there'll be a 3 month update video in 2 months following this. So what's the plan? What have I done? So I've had experience in the past with Anki before, and my plan is, and what I've done is, there's the Anki Evita sentence deck for Korean, and I'll link this in the show notes. But this is, if you look on it, it's probably the most popular Korean deck, so you won't have any trouble finding it. But I know there's the issue of preformed sentences versus making your own. These sentences are just, I have to admit, they're n+0 to n+2, and and to be honest, 90% of them are n+1. So they're too good, and they have audio, and they have native audio. So they're just too good. So my plan is, there's probably 5 or 6 different units, and that really focus on the grammar. And I'm gonna sentence mine, or I'm gonna add it to my deck. The first 3 volumes, the first 3 units, which I think that'll actually be about 12 or 1300 sentences, and you could fly through these. They're pretty low effort. They're I+1. I don't know if I said n+1 before, but so that'll probably take another month for me. It's been a month now, and so I'm only doing 10 new sentences per day. I think with these English translations, you could probably do 20, but I've gotten to a really nice point where my Anki reviews are 30 minutes or less a day, depending on how alert I am. And I think you can make progress with doing this little bit of Anki. Um, and then at that point, I will probably start going monolingual, and I'll describe that. So let's talk about what are my experiences with Korean. With Korean, there are no experiences. So I started August 1st, and but I did my experience with Anki was with learning Japanese. So I've learned Japanese in a very short time. I would say it's short. 5 months of exclusively kanji, and that was mostly actually the writing them out, traditional kanji, and I've since added 1100 or 1200 kanji to my deck, and then I spent 7.5 months with sentences, and the last, I would say, 5 months of that, I've discovered the AJAD or MIA approach, and I've really incorporated the immersion, and it's it's been it's been definitely eye-opening, and it's part of the reason why I want to really tackle this Korean with that approach from day one. So let's talk about the differences with Japanese, just because I have a few thoughts on this. So things that I think are different. I mean, there's sort of the conjugations and the end of sentences, the end of verbs. They're they're not a little more difficult with Korean. They're more difficult. I mean, they're not at the French or Russian level. I'm a native English and Russian speaker, but and obviously I never learned grammar for any one of them formally that I can describe. But I think with Korean it's actually going to be more important to read. I think with Japanese you can get you're going to want to read, and I'd love your thoughts on this, guys. But I think in my own experience you're gonna want to read, because there's a lot more regulars, there's a lot more the tense, the conjugations change. Like after seeing Korean, I would say Japanese literally has no conjugations. That's how simple it is. So the only issues I have with that is, and then the sound. So potential difficulties of Korean is slightly more kind of French-like conjugations, but then also those little bit. So I think I'm not sure how much reading I'll be doing. When I was doing the monolingual transition, that alone was like a little bit of reading, and because I haven't found anime or manga that I like, and that might be a disadvantage with Japanese. That's why for simple Korean, I actually plan on I plan on reading and sentence mining The Little Prince in Korean. There's a free copy. It might be I think it's public domain probably, but anyway, it's probably a little harder than to be reading it for your first material, to be honest. But what I'm going to do is similar with Japanese, is new words. If I don't have a sentence card, I'll make a sentence card without audio. Sorry, if I don't have audio, but then I'll take an audio, and hopefully it's an I+1 from just a drama that I import into Anki, and then I find a sentence containing that word. So that's why I only do 10 sentences. And each sentence, it might actually only be 5 to 10 new concepts, and I think that's still enough to progress, because some of them might be just a sentence in the wild, and if there's no audio, I will take an audio-based sentence from a drama containing that word that I'm learning. So I'm looking for dramas to watch. I've rewatched Kim Samsun that I've watched in English in 2013, and I've watched that so I kind of knew the plot. But I'm looking for new Korean dramas. I think there's new ones coming out all the time. So just so I'm in my mid-30s. I'm a medical doctor, and that's the reason why I want to do this and prove that, hey, like, let's see what kind of results you can make. I have a few other small projects, but and my day consists of I'm living in Korea actually. I just took a trip, few days to Japan, but I'm living in Korea. But my day-to-day consists of dictating medical reports in pure English, and it's unfavorable. But in the short while I was learning Japanese, I think if you can immerse. It's fascinating to me to see that there's like a minimum time where it's even worth it. Like, probably you can study Spanish or French 30 to 60 minutes a day and make good progress. I think with Japanese and Korean, you're going to want to put in, if let's say I put in 30 minutes of Anki, you're going to want to put in at least an hour and a half to 2 hours of immersion to make significant progress, in my opinion. So, so my Anki structure is I've left my kanji deck, and that's whittling down. That's the weird thing. Like, it's still like some days are 20 or 30 reps, nothing new. So just to maintain, because I really want to maintain kanji. And then the retirement add-on is awesome. So I put about a year and a half on my kanji, and then I put 7 months on these. I kept the same deck. And I've not added any new Japanese sentences in 2 months, and but now what I'm seeing, it's 90% of the cards, or 95, are already the Korean cards. So I would expect that number to see maybe 1 Japanese sentence a day. And the reason I'm doing that is because I know I'm gonna lose progress in Japanese, and I probably gonna be in Korea for 2 years, and I'd be doing this plan whether or not I was working in Korea, because I'm probably not going to output very much for a while. So anyway, so I'm going to add 10 new sentences from this Evita grammar deck, and then after that, and when I sentence mine, when I do the monolingual transition, I'm going to use Korean to Korean definitions, and for the words that I don't know the definitions in, I'm going to make English, so bilingual sentence cards. We'll see how that goes. If I missed anything, please let me know. This is my first time uploading a video to YouTube, so this is a smartphone. When I get a Wi-Fi connection, I will try to upload this. Hopefully it works. Anyway, it's been almost 10 minutes, so thanks guys for listening, and more to follow. All right, bye.